evening, everybody. I thought I'd do a quick video on the alternator replacement on a 1992 Plymouth Voyager, or actually it's got a Dodge grill in it, but it's the same for a Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth, you know, whatever the minivan is, with the 3.3 6-cylinder. The alternator's right there. As you can see, I'm just installing the new alternator now, but even though it looks like it's right there at the top, it actually has to come out at the bottom. So first you have to do is on the idler pulley that has the spring on it, you need to see if I can point that out here. You need to put a wrench right there, and there we go. Put a wrench on it, and I use a box end wrench with a pipe. There wasn't enough clearance here to, you see there's only a little bit of clearance, so I was able to get a box end wrench on it with a pipe. And so I got one of these pipes where the ends is flat, so that you can stick a wrench in there and use extra leverage. And let me see, it's all metric, so let me see what the size was. It was a 15 millimeter. They're actually pretty clever in the design of this thing, where they use the same size bolt heads for a lot of things. Anyway, you pull on that, and then you can slip the belt from the alternator, and then you can loosen this bolt. Now there's another bolt on the bottom that it pivots on, similar to you know, pretty much how just about any alternator is mounted. And there's a bracket on the back of the engine. That's it right there. You have to take that off. There's this bolt in here, and the other one I think goes on it's shared with the exhaust manifold. So this bracket is in the way of getting that long bolt out on the bottom of the alternator. So you need to remove this nut from the exhaust manifold, and then there's another, this is the other bolt that's in there, so you need to remove that bracket. It'll be obvious if you could see it, but you can't see it, and so you're kind of feeling around in there, and that's why I decided to make a video. And then the wiring harness connects to the back here. There's again, I think there's 10 millimeter bolts, and then the small ones are, what is this? This is a 7 millimeter. It's kind of annoying dealing with all this metric hardware, but it works, I guess. So, and then you can pull the wiring harness off. This new alternator is a AC Delco, but it came with kind of crappy hardware with separate lock nuts and everything. Whereas, like, if you use the OEM hardware, it has all the lock nuts are built in. So I think they're a little bit, you know, you see the washer is part of the nut here, whereas like the ones that came with the alternator are all separate washers. So, you know, it's bit of a hassle, so I just decided to reuse the old hardware. Most of the old hardware, in fact, is like this, so this new one actually did have the lock washer built in. Now, when you get the alternator out, you think you can see it's right here. You think you slip it right out, but no, you can't. You gotta. And I've tried taking this bracket off, and even if you take that off, it still doesn't want to go out. And even if you drop it down, actually, it looks like there's space there, but even that's pretty hard. What you got to do is, there's this plug for the oxygen sensor that's in the exhaust. You take that off the bracket, so you just pull it off. It's got one of those barbed. It used to have. Did I break it off? I don't know. I guess it slipped off the bracket. At any rate, take that off, and then there's enough slack in the wiring harness to the oxygen sensor You don't have to take the sensor itself out, you just clip loose the wiring harness so you can get the alternator around the back of the engine over to the driver's side. And then actually on the driver's side there's enough room where you can take it over top of the let's see if you can see it right here. You can take it over top of that's your rack and pinion right there, and then you can see daylight in the back. So that's the route it's got to take. It's got to go on the driver's side of the exhaust there. That's the only way I've found. I've tried every which way to get it out differently, and it doesn't work. And the new one has to go in the same way, and then it's pretty simple. So if you know which way to go, it's not too hard, but do yourself a favor and just jack it up right away. You know, I didn't even get it up all the way. I just put a block under one side, or you know, however you jack stands are probably better. Except I'm working in the dirt, and the jack stands sink in the dirt, so the railroad ties work better for that. All right, good luck.